they approach turn 11 and turn 12 as Freddie gets spun round by Ocon, he gets tagged, and Freddie is losing a further few positions, just so frustrating. Here is Grosjean also exiting the pit lane as well, and Verstappen actually crashes out. The tyres degrade so fast around Catalunya, but thankfully today Freddie's experiencing none of those issues. It's just a pure lack of pace. Shows some real fight, some real commitment here around the outside. Look at this mentality for Freddie here, to never give up. A never say die attitude is in full flow right now for Freddie as he is keeping the Red Bull car of Daniel Ricciardo, the Australian, at bay. Ricciardo is going to the inside as well as Danny Garcia. Oh my goodness me, look at this. We head down into turn 1. Alonso's also getting involved as well into turn number 1, and Freddie somehow comes out on top. I don't quite know how. Freddie's going to come across the line now for a very solid P6 finish.
Brilliant job today, mate. Well done for holding firm in the closing stages. Great job.
So guys, welcome back today to Freddie Gray season number 4. We are here today for the Monaco Grand Prix, and obviously Freddie enduring quite a difficult weekend last time out in Spain. He did obviously manage to secure 6th in the end, but that was thanks to an incredible one-stop strategy pulled off brilliantly by Freddie himself and the Williams F1 team. Executed very well indeed. Williams historically have never been too good around the street circuit, so Freddie isn't expecting too much, but again, surprises can happen. We'll have to wait and see how it all pans out. But obviously Freddie this week back in his homeland, he's been getting in the mood. Obviously the Monaco setting, full of its glitz and glamour, a lot of casinos around, and Freddie's been getting into the mood, into the clubbing mood. Obviously not going too crazy, of course, he can't do that. Needs to keep in the correct shape for the race weekend itself. But yes guys, that's about it then. Not much to see with Freddie this week. He's been preparing hard as always, but now it's time to head to Monaco for the qualifying report. The Monaco Grand Prix was always cherished by the drivers and will continue to be one of the dual races on the Formula 1 calendar. Lewis Hamilton continued to surge in form by securing pole around the Principality, 3 tenths ahead of second place man Sebastian Vettel, whom he is currently level with in the Drivers' Championship. Less than 1/10 of a second separated second to 5th as Freddie Gray and the 2 Red Bull racing cars excelled, all very pleased with their qualifying displays. Young Canadian Lance Stroll wasn't all too far behind as the rookie was beginning to find some confidence with his new resources. The main struggles of qualifying were Championship leader Valtteri Bottas and Frenchman Romain Grosjean, who simply couldn't find their feet and challenge the top 5. McLaren Honda achieved a Q3 place with both cars around the streets of Monaco, while the big hits in qualifying were Manor-Mercedes, with both drivers getting to the second part of qualifying, which left the F1 paddock in shock. Lewis Hamilton was electric around Monaco, while Sebastian Vettel had high hopes from second. Freddie Gray and Daniel Ricciardo lined up in the second row, with the hungry young duo of Verstappen and Stroll on row 3. Bottas and Grosjean bemoaned their lack of qualifying pace and were hoping it wouldn't be too costly come the race. Van Dorn out-qualified teammate Alonso with the 2 Toro Rosses in 11th and 12th. The drama that is normally thrown up around the streets could possibly give Manor-Mercedes their first points 2017 after a superb qualifying by Jordan King. Fellow rookies Ocon and Giovinazzi lined up closely behind, with Gasly getting to the second session for the first time. Perez had a shocker, while Magnussen's continued elimination in Q1 was a real cause for concern, and it was the 2 Renault and Alfa Romeo cars that mix up the final 2 rows of the grid. So a much stronger performance yesterday from Freddie Gray. He lines up 3rd on the grid for today's Monaco Grand Prix. Arguably a track where he hasn't really had much fortune over the seasons. Let's hope he can rectify that this year with a good result. Obviously his first weekend in Monaco for the Williams F1 team, and I think if anything he's very surprised at the pace that he is experiencing this Williams. Williams are a team that generally struggle quite a lot of their car around street circuits, but it doesn't seem that way this weekend, and Freddie very much up there with Sebastian Vettel. Lewis Hamilton on another planet out there, out-qualifying Vettel by 3/10 of a second, but it looks like from the strategy, Freddie will be trying to do a one-stop strategy, going from the ultra-soft tyres onto the super-soft tyres, and hopefully during the race we do see some safety car periods that will obviously help Freddie out with his cause, hopefully to do a bit of a one-stop strategy to hopefully conserve the tyres during those safety car periods if they do eventually come out. That would obviously help him.
Good luck today, mate. We're in a strong position, so let's make the most of it.
Yep, as the engineer says there, just make the most of the start, because really overtaking around Monaco, as you guys know, is extremely limited, and you've got to take your opportunities when they come, as the lights are building up now for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix, and we are underway now from 3rd position. Freddie Gray getting off to a pretty decent start. Sebastian Vettel on the outside of Lewis Hamilton heading into turn 1. Can Vettel pull it off? No, Hamilton gains the position back, but Freddie got off to a storming launch there. A yellow flag behind these, now up into 2nd place ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Now heading into the casino section, and he actually runs a bit wide. Sebastian Vettel makes his way back through unbelievably. Back into 3rd place goes Freddie Gray, but so nearly regaining that position, so nearly overtaking Sebastian Vettel, who was in fact on the outside of Lewis Hamilton heading into turn 1. So Vettel almost losing 2 positions there, but it is as you were at the start of the race, basically, with the top 3. But as you can see now, in the pit lane at the end of lap 1, there are quite a few cars, and as you guys know, there was a yellow flag at turn 1, so obviously this has something to do with it. A lot of cars making their way into the pit lane, a hell of a lot of cars in fact. There is Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber, so I think we're going to take a look at a replay in a second. So let's have a look, let's see what happened at the start here. Just looking at the back, you've got an Alfa Romeo there of Marcus Ericsson seemingly crashing into the back of Jolyon Palmer, so we got to have a look from Ericsson's POV. He just didn't brake really, so that was just stupidity there from Marcus Ericsson in the Alfa Romeo. You can see Palmer here obviously got damage from that and had to pit in, and so did Ericsson as well. And here's the next incident at the hairpin. Oh, look at that, the Toro Rosso there, I believe of Carlos Sainz, who's gotten off to a very poor start by the looks of it, seemingly crashing into the back of the Force India there of Esteban Ocon. I just don't think he was expecting them to slow down that much, and then got spun round even further by the Manor-Mercedes here of Pierre Gasly. So a pretty crazy start. No safety car. In fact, now Danny Kvyat's out of the race, so there's more action going on here, and we're only on lap 4 for crying out loud. So, you know, a lot going on so far, a lot to keep up with, and there we go. There is the safety car. It just didn't take long whatsoever. We didn't get one on lap 1, but we do have one now on lap number 4. As you can see here, Kvyat suffering an engine failure. That's the second that he suffered this season. Obviously, remember, Melbourne, Australia, he suffered an engine failure, and then again here, and now we're on board with his teammate Carlos Sainz, and oh dear, that is a double retirement from Toro Rosso in just a matter of seconds. That is unbelievable there. Carlos Sainz going straight into the back of the safety car. Just this game really, guys, the AI sometimes, they just don't know what they're doing. But anyway, Freddie is right on the back of Sebastian Vettel. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Unfortunately, at the back end of those last few laps, Freddie was really driving back from Sebastian Vettel, which kind of indicates in these early stages that he doesn't quite have the pace to really challenge it up with these guys. But obviously, we're going to have to wait and see how the stint pans out. But unfortunately, guys, there was no action really until lap 13. As you can see on the mini-map there, no Sebastian Vettel or Lewis Hamilton really in sight. It was really unfortunate in this stint.
Box now, Freddie, box now.
So as you can see there, the engineer calling Freddie into the pits. It's obviously not working at the moment, but I think he will try and continue on with the one stop. But as you can see, the mechanics there have the yellow marked soft compound tyres, obviously the hardest compound we have here around Monaco, and Freddie will try and take those to the end of the Grand Prix. But we're going to have to see, because look at all that traffic coming in currently in front of him, so he's obviously going to have that to conquer, but hopefully they'll be far enough in front. And he also had obviously a front wing that was damaged that he had to repair in that pit stop, so that's cost him an awful lot of time. Hopefully it won't cost him too much time, otherwise Freddie really won't be too happy at the back end of this race. Let's see, lap number 15 now, almost halfway through this Grand Prix. You can see here, coming out the pit lane, way ahead of Freddie, we got Verstappen, I believe, along with Lance Stroll and Valtteri Bottas. So, and they seem to be way ahead of Freddie at the moment. He's only coming around the last corner, so that has really cost Freddie an awful lot of time, and he's got all these cars in between him and the leaders, so this has actually not worked out well at all, and Freddie must be absolutely fuming inside that cockpit right now. Williams have kind of messed up here. They should have at least kept him out another lap or so. He would have got jumped by those guys anyway, but surely he wouldn't have been any further behind. But just look at the amount of cars that he has to clear. Stoffel Van Dorn, I believe, has pitted already, but has obviously been stuck behind the Alfa Romeo of Marcus Ericsson for quite some time now. Freddie does have the DRS, however, on the Belgian driver in front, but another issue here is, guys, look at the straight line speed that Freddie is getting here. I think that Williams have really kind of geared up their car to be good through the corners, which is obviously a good thing, but at the same time, he just cannot overtake around Monaco whatsoever. There is just no opportunity to do so, and here we go, down the inside of Mirabeau now goes Freddie Gray, up the inside of Stoffel Van Dorn, a nice move in the end, and he actually dives down the inside of Ericsson at the hairpin. He just has to take his opportunities when they come. In fact, he actually squeezes Ericsson into the wall, a bit of an aggressive manoeuvre, but he just has to get those done because there's just no other real opportunity across the track. So it's just really unfortunate how this race has panned out so far. Hopefully he can still make some progress and some surprises can happen. They have done so far in this series, so don't rule anything out just yet. But currently now on lap 19, we have Fernando Alonso and Jolyon Palmer just ahead of Freddie. Antonio Giovinazzi behind. Still now going into the aerial shot. Alonso and Palmer currently actually battling out, but Palmer actually makes his way into the pits, and Freddie takes that opportunity to go up the inside of Fernando Alonso, almost being squeezed to the wall there by his former teammate when they were teammates at Ferrari a couple of seasons ago. And the Giovinazzi also is on the outside of Freddie, heading into turn number 1, but Freddie just about maintains P13 for the moment. A pretty crazy, scene of action there. You can see Giovinazzi going to the outside of Freddie Gray, can't quite pull off the move because Freddie kind of has the high ground on the inside island. Giovinazzi sensibly backs off, doesn't cost himself too much time, and he has actually caught up a little bit, but actually the gap has kind of almost spaced out from that point. Alonso is quite far ahead by about 1.4 seconds, and then we've got Giovinazzi about 8 tenths behind Freddie at the moment, and Sergio Perez has also just emerged out from the pit lane. So now onto lap 27, not too long to go now in this race, and behind we have got Giovinazzi and Perez, and also Esteban Ocon battling out. Perez makes a very nice move around the outside of the final corner on Antonio Giovinazzi, the highly rated Italian. Here is another rookie here in this series, Esteban Ocon, also battling out at Giovinazzi, but now on the outside of Mirabeau, there is Sergio Perez as we now approach the hairpin. Perez can't quite make the move, but there goes Esteban Ocon down the inside of Giovinazzi, and he tries to make some move on Perez, currently on the fastest ultra soft tyre. So Ocon is flying at the moment, just like he was at the back end of the Russian Grand Prix. But look at that front wing there. Freddie's got an awful lot of damage, and Ocon seeks the opportunity up the inside of Giovinazzi. A very opportunistic move there on the Italian. He almost tries and overtakes Sergio Perez, but can't quite do so. Now in the corner just before the tunnel, Giovinazzi tries and regains the position, but Ocon has the high ground, gets traction out the corner, and remains ahead of the Italian for the moment. Here is the whole overtake here from Giovinazzi's perspective. He was actually almost boxed in by Sergio Perez, and that allowed Ocon the opportunity to go around the outside. Ocon perhaps being a little bit too tentative there. Maybe he could have really challenged his teammate Sergio Perez through those section of corners, and they both lost a bit of time because of that. And now on to lap 32, it is all about the pressure being mounted by all the rivals behind. Going into the hairpin now, Sergio Perez, actually I think he's finding a gap up the inside of Freddie as he runs a bit wide, and Perez actually spins out there. Freddie actually stops, thinking that might have been his fault. Perez rejoins that an issue, but there does seem to be a bit of carnage going down by the hairpin, and the safety car is now out. The safety car is out with only 7 laps to go here, and actually that seems a bit strange. I don't think Freddie actually did too much wrong. He left the gap open for Sergio Perez to possibly make a move, and I don't know, that's a bit of a weird one there. I wouldn't even say that was Freddie or Sergio Perez's fault, but I'm assuming the safety car was for a lot of debris on the track here, and there is Lewis Hamilton actually within this group of cars. And now Freddie is coming into the pits. He just saw this opportunity here. He's going to lose a couple of positions. He will actually be outside the points, but the thing is, he has got so much damage on his front wing, which is the main reason why he was so far back from Fernando Alonso, who was in 9th at the time. Just again has been a very disappointing race weekend. A 9.4 second pit stop, and there's Lewis Hamilton pitting in as well, assuming that the Mercedes driver there has some damage, but because of that, he is going to lose the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix as Magnussen does exactly what Carlos Sainz did earlier, and he is now out of the race.
Safety car in this lap, still enough time to salvage something. Come on, Freddie.
Exactly, there's still more than enough time to salvage something, but it's going to be a huge challenge here. Obviously, Freddie is on the fastest ultra soft tyres, but the thing is here, guys, actually between Freddie and some of the top runners, there is actually an awful lot of backmarkers. Vettel is currently leading from Ricciardo, and there is Verstappen also in third. Finally, Red Bull having a very strong weekend. Lewis Hamilton, after his pit stop, currently running in 4th with Bottas in 6th, and Lance Stroll running in 5th at the moment. Very good race weekend for him indeed, and I believe that's a Manor there Jordan King in an effective points position, unbelievably. I did say at the end of the last episode that Manor could potentially get their first points in the Monaco Grand Prix, and opportunity is presented towards them, and it seems that Jordan King has taken that so far this weekend. Just a few laps to hold on now, as Freddie has overtaken Hulkenberg and Stoffel Van Dorn. Van Dorn actually pitting in strangely for one more time, which was a bit weird, but to say the very least, but he overtook Hulkenberg nonetheless. And here is Lance Stroll and Valtteri Bottas stuck behind the Manor-Mercedes here of Pierre Gasly. So this is what I'm talking about here, guys. This is what Freddie needs to take advantage of when the leaders get caught up in front. Lance Stroll cannot get past Pierre Gasly at the moment at all through the tunnel. He might try and get past him here. Lance Stroll just about, oh my goodness me, that was so close to contact there with the Frenchman Pierre Gasly. Just so difficult to get out of the way around Monaco. But here is a little bit of an opportunity here to get out of the way. You can see Freddie just in the background there going through the chicane, so he is quite close to these guys currently running in P5, P6, P7. Basically the latter places in the top 10, and there is Freddie right now currently in P number 12. So there we go. Here is Grosjean overtaking, or lapping, sorry, Pierre Gasly, and also Jordan King currently in P8, gets past with no problems. There goes Alonso and the two Force Indians, Giovinazzi, and there is Freddie right on the back here of Antonio Giovinazzi. He's in P13, sorry, but that could change very soon as he almost makes contact. Both Williams cars getting incredibly close to the Manor-Mercedes of Pierre Gasly. I don't know why Freddie got the warning for that, because it wasn't his fault whatsoever. Gasly should have gotten out of the way much earlier. Now up the inside of Mirabeau, Freddie makes a very nice move there on Antonio Giovinazzi. There is Esteban Ocon, now P12 on the final lap of the race. Freddie goes up the inside of Ocon, attempts the move, and makes the overtake stick on the Frenchman there. Here are some more back markers that are holding up the leads here on the final lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. Just look at this, Hamilton getting held up by Pascal Wehrlein, Lance Stroll so nearly being able to make a move there on Lewis Hamilton. Stroll just about gets through along with Valtteri Bottas, but Wehrlein holds himself up so much that he's now battling with his teammate Marcus Ericsson. That further holds up the likes of Grosjean and also Jordan King, but Jordan King looking good so far for points. But here is Freddie now, absolutely desperate to get these points, so close to the points in the last couple of corners. He's going to dive up the inside of Larascas here on Sergio Perez and also Fernando Alonso. He somehow managed to pull that up, and also there's Jordan King. What is going on here? The gaps open up for Freddie and he's taken full advantage. He's going to come home in P8. Unbelievably, somehow the gaps opened up there for Freddie and he took full opportunity, somehow managed to make the move stick as he filed through the final corner. Jordan King again being a little bit too conservative there, you must argue. He still gets 2 points to Manor-Mercedes, but Freddie, what a comeback on the final lap, going from P13 to P8. Absolutely brilliant performance there.
Unlucky, mate. Not quite as high up as we wanted you to be, but really good character shown in the final few laps. Well done, mate.
So guys, now viewing the race results of the 2017 Monaco Grand Prix, it was Sebastian Vettel who came home and took the victory after Lewis Hamilton having to pit at the end, or towards the back end of the race, obviously having some damage on his front wing. Ricciardo coming home in second, with Verstappen following him through closely in third place. Red Bull finally getting some luck this weekend. Lewis Hamilton in fourth position in the end, with Valtteri Bottas coming home in sixth, with Lance Stroll actually in fifth place. A very good result for the Canadian there, finally getting one over on Freddie Gray. Romain Grosjean in 7th, with Freddie Gray coming through in 8th. I still can't quite believe how Freddie managed to make all those moves stick into the final corner. You could argue it was a bit aggressive of him, but he had to sort of take those risks towards the end, otherwise he wouldn't really get rewarded. And Jordan King actually coming home, getting 2 points for Manor-Mercedes. Brilliant job from Jordan King, an excellent qualifying session for the Manor team, and also a brilliant race as well. Shame that Gasly couldn't maintain his strong position from the start, but yes. And Fernando Alonso rounds out the points in 10th position, with Sergio Perez just missing out in P11. But what a race, guys, especially towards the end there. So now in the Drivers' Championship, it's getting very close and pretty tight up there now, actually. Valtteri Bottas with not such a great result today on 98 points. Sebastian Vettel, after his race victory, is only 3 points behind. You could argue perhaps the surprise package of this season, Sebastian Vettel and Ferrari, with the pace really to challenge the Mercedes on a consistent basis, and they are up there, very much in with a shout of the World Championship this year. Lewis Hamilton back with 82 points, with Grosjean in 4th and Freddie Gray back in 5th. That was the one down point from today. Now 40 points behind Valtteri Bottas, so Freddie needs to quickly find some form and start putting in some really good performances, because sooner or later this championship is going to really slip from his grasp. Stoffel Vandoorne maintaining 6th position despite not scoring any points, with Verstappen scoring a second set of Formula 1 points. He is now on 40 points thanks to his podium finish today, with Daniel Ricciardo now on 33 points. A strong showing from Red Bull this weekend, and for them, hopefully a step back in the right direction for this season. It can really kick on from here. Fernando Alonso in 9th with 25, Lance Stroll securing his best race result of the season, a 5th place finish around the streets of Monaco. A great composed drive from him. He is now on 22 points, with Sergio Perez rounding out the top 11 with 19 points. Now in the Constructors' Championship, the battle is really heating up between Mercedes and Ferrari, only 13 points separating those two teams, with Williams back in 3rd, and now Red Bull Racing making huge ground on Williams, really drawing them in. They are now on 76 points, a further 4 points back from Williams, and Red Bull really have the confidence now heading into Canada and obviously Baku, Azerbaijan. McLaren dropped to 5th after only sealing 1 point there with Fernando Alonso, and Force India pointless today, no points around the streets of Monaco. They are still on 35, with Toro Rosso on 7th, Haas on 5, and Manor-Mercedes getting off the mark today with Jordan King, and Alfa Romeo and Renault still waiting for their first set of Formula 1 points. But yes guys, that's about it for today. If you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, leave your thoughts and comments down below. What do you think of today's race? What do you think about the season ahead? Have you enjoyed the series so far? Is there anything you would like me to include or perhaps improve upon for the future episodes? And yes guys, that's about it then. I will see you next time. Bye bye.